Hi. In a series of financial institutions in India, we have seen various types of banks which are there, commercial banks, foreign banks, and private sector banks, public sector banks, all those things we have seen in the previous videos. Now in this video we will see the role of regional rural bank, RRBs we call, and then cooperative credit institutions which are there in India, and the LAB, which is local area bank. So these three we will focus on today's video. Regional rural banks are formed in the year 1975. There are 196 regional rural banks are there in India. It is established by Government of India under the Regional Rural Banks Act 1976. So they are closely linked with the commercial bank. So commercial bank also has a stake in it, like how Government of India is having a stake. So they are called sponsor banks. So sponsor bank should be there to start a regional rural bank. So what is the necessity of a regional rural bank when so many banks are there? Why this regional rural bank is thought about? See, the commercial bank and the cooperative banks which are there, the cooperative credit structure is having a weak controlling measures, and also staff knowledge also wasn't sufficient to handle all these. And commercial banks basically urban oriented, and they have cost of their operations are very high. Salary structure, staffing pattern also having a high establishment cost on it, and hence it is thought regional rural bank with specific to take care of the need of the rural infrastructure and the rural development. RRBs are considered. So what is the capital of this regional rural bank? It is started with 1 crore regional rural bank. It is divided into 1 lakh shares of 100 each. So we have 50%, 15% and 35% stake. So central government will have 15%. So 50% stake will be there by the central government, 15% stake by state government, 35% stake by the sponsor commercial bank. So I repeat, the stake of central government is 50%, stake of state government is 15%, and the sponsor bank has 35% stake in a regional rural bank. Now as per the amendment, the capital is increased from 1 crore to 5 crore level. What is the business of a regional rural bank? Regional rural bank carries a normal banking business. It is also governed by Banking Regulation Act 1949, granting of loans and advances, particularly to small and marginal farmers, agricultural laborers, and cooperative societies which are there in the rural areas for agricultural purposes and agricultural operations, or for the connected agri businesses. And it also lends to artisans, small entrepreneurs, and persons of small means engaged in trade, commerce, or industry. The management, how is it? Each regional rural bank is managed by board of directors. A regional bank is guided by the directives issued by central government in regard to matters of policy involving public interest. The central government prescribes the salaries of the employees in this. What is the responsibility of sponsor bank? So we have seen about 50% stakeholder who is the central government, their involvement. Now sponsor bank is having 35% stake. What is their role in that? The sponsor bank assists RRBs by imparting training to the personnel and providing managerial and financial assistance to RRBs during the first 5 years of their running. Then they also do conduct inspections, internal audit and security, and to suggest corrective measures as and when it is required. Regional rural banks avail their finance facilities from the NABARD, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. So this is about RRB. Now we have cooperative credit institutions, which is urban cooperative and rural cooperative credit institution, broadly bifurcated into these two. Under urban cooperative, we have scheduled urban cooperative banks and non-scheduled urban cooperative banks. Under scheduled, we have multi-state and single-state. Under non-scheduled, you have same like multi-state and single-state cooperatives. Under rural cooperative credit institutions, we have two, short-term and long-term credit institutions. Under short-term, we have State Cooperative Bank, District Level Cooperative Bank, and Primary Agricultural Credit Society, PACS, PACS. Under long-term, we have State Cooperative Agri and Rural Development Bank, Primary Cooperative Agri and Rural Development Bank. So these are the various cooperative credit institutions that exist in India. What is LAB, Local Area Bank? New local area banks form with twin objectives of providing an institutional mechanism for promoting rural and semi-urban savings and providing credit for viable economic activities in local areas. So this is restricted to local area. The paid up capital of such banks is 5 crore. With the promoter's contribution is at least 2 crore. This is promoted by individuals, companies, trusts, and societies. So the local area banks restrict their operations would be limited to maximum of 3 geographical continuous districts. At present, 4 local area banks are there in India. One each in Punjab, the other in Gujarat, Maharashtra, and in Andhra Pradesh. These are the 4 local area banks which exist in India. Another bank was merged with Bank of Baroda in June 2004 because of the loss it suffered. So this is broadly about regional rural bank, then cooperative credit institutions and local area bank. As we discussed earlier, there are only 4 local area banks in India. One in Gujarat, the other one is in Punjab, third is in Maharashtra, and the fourth one is in Andhra Pradesh. So we have seen various banks which function in India. So we have also seen development banks, which is IDBI, SIDBI, and IFCI. We have seen earlier in the previous videos. These are the broad structure of the financial institutions in India. Going forward, we will see the nuances of bankings with specific to each areas. Thank you very much for patiently watching. Bye.